What if just one night could change who you are when you wake? In Sleep Manifestation, you'll discover how listening while you sleep reshapes the patterns of your subconscious mind. Give it one night, and you may awaken to a life that feels completely new. Sleep Manifestation. Introduction. In the sacred space between waking and dreaming, a profound transformation awaits. The moments before sleep hold extraordinary power, a gateway to the infinite where your deepest desires take root and flourish. This ancient wisdom passed down through generations reveals that your last thoughts before slumber shape the garden of tomorrow. The subconscious mind, like fertile soil, receives every seed of thought you plant before rest. It knows no difference between what is real and what is imagined. In these precious moments when consciousness softly fades, your mind becomes most receptive to new possibilities. Here in this twilight realm, you hold the power to reshape your reality. Your thoughts as you drift into sleep are like whispered instructions to the universe. They echo through the chambers of your being, gathering strength as you rest. This is why the wise ones of old taught that your final thoughts before sleep should be carefully chosen, like selecting precious gems to adorn your crown. The practice is simple, yet its effects ripple through every dimension of existence. As you lay your head to rest, release all resistance. Let your breath become gentle, your thoughts peaceful. In this state of receptivity, imagine your desires as already fulfilled. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the completion. These feelings become the lullaby that rocks your consciousness to sleep. The universe responds not to your words but to your vibration, the frequency of your being. When you enter sleep wrapped in the energy of gratitude and fulfillment, you align with the very forces that orchestrate reality. Your dreams become more than escape. They become bridges to your desired experience. Remember, the last thought before sleep is the first seed of tomorrow's garden. Plant it with intention, water it with faith, and watch as your life blossoms in ways beyond imagination. Before we get into the book, comment, I am ready to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1, The Dawn of Inner Hearing. Chapter 1. The First Dream Heard. In the depths of night, Nina Bellarosa found herself wandering through an endless maze of mirrors. Each reflection showed a different version of herself, yet none seemed quite clear. As she moved through the labyrinth, a truth began to emerge. The walls were not glass and silver, but thoughts made manifest, each reflecting back her own mental patterns. The mirrors you encounter in life are not mere coincidence. Like Nina, you stand surrounded by reflections of your inner world. What appears as confusion is often an invitation to deeper awareness. When the path seems unclear, it is not chaos that confronts you, but your own thoughts echoing back, asking to be acknowledged. The universe operates through the law of reflection. Every circumstance you encounter mirrors the vibration you hold within. This ancient principle reveals that manifestation flows not from thought alone, but from the sacred union of thought and feeling in perfect harmony. When these two forces align, reality begins to shift in response. Consider Harold Mancini, who discovered this truth through simple observation. Sitting quietly by his window, he noticed how birds would appear precisely when his heart opened to beauty. He had not called them with words or actions, but with the silent magnetism of aligned thought and feeling. Each feathered visitor confirmed that the universe responds not to our demands, but to our state of being. Your desires already exist in the invisible realm of potential. Like seeds beneath the soil, they await the proper conditions to emerge. The key lies not in forcing their growth, but in creating the inner environment where they naturally flourish. Through restful awareness, you allow your intentions to take form. Dreams are not mere nighttime fantasies. They are messages written in the language of feeling, instructions to the universal mind. When you learn to dream with conscious intention, you speak directly to the creative force that shapes reality. As you prepare for sleep tonight, settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Let your chosen desire float gently in your mind, not as a wish, but as a present reality. Feel its presence in your heart, letting gratitude flow naturally as if your desire has already manifested. Allow this feeling to become your lullaby, carrying you into sleep. When morning arrives, notice the subtle shift in your being, a peaceful certainty that carries the sweet scent of manifestation already in motion. The mirror maze dissolves when you recognize that every reflection serves as a guide leading you back to the truth of your own creative power. Chapter 2. The Mirror of Still Water. The stillness of water teaches what the mind often forgets, that peace precedes power. In Ruby's vision by the lake, she discovered a truth as ancient as the stars themselves. Your outer world mirrors your inner state. When you find yourself wrapped in turmoil, seeking to manifest your desires, remember that force creates ripples that distort the reflection. It is in becoming still that you allow the universe to show you its perfect symmetry. The waters of consciousness run deep, carrying within them every dream you've ever held. Like the lake that showed Ruby both sky and earth united, your mind holds the power to bridge the visible and invisible realms. When you quiet the waters of thought, every star of possibility shines twice as bright, once in the heavens of your aspirations and once in the depths of your being. This mirroring extends beyond mere metaphor into the very fabric of creation. Your thoughts and emotions create ripples in the cosmic waters, patterns that shape the substance of reality itself, just as a pebble thrown into a pond sends waves to distant shores. Your inner state radiates outward, touching every aspect of your experience. Frankie Duca understood this principle through the practice of gratitude. Each night as sleep approached, he would whisper his appreciation not only for what was, but for what would be. In doing so, he discovered that gratitude is not merely a response to abundance. It is the very frequency that attracts it. His nightly ritual of thanks became a beacon drawing to him the very blessings he acknowledged in advance. The wisdom in Frankie's approach lies in its gentle persistence. He didn't force his desires into being, but instead created a receptive field through appreciation. His story reveals that manifestation flows most freely not through demand, but through thankful anticipation. Every thank you he offered to the universe became a seed planted in fertile soil of possibility to integrate these teachings into your own journey of manifestation. Clear's throat. Embrace this timeless practice passed down through generations of those who understood the law of reflection. Before you surrender to sleep tonight, find a moment of complete stillness. Recall one beautiful thing that graced your day. Perhaps a kind word, a moment of laughter, or a flash of inspiration. Hold this blessing in your mind's eye, seeing it float like a star upon still waters. Then with the same gentle attention, place your dream beside it, letting both rest together on the surface of your consciousness. Allow sleep to come naturally, knowing that in your serenity, you have already begun to attract that which you seek. Chapter 3. The Room of Gentle Echoes. In the depths of night, when the world grows quiet, the most sacred conversations unfold within. Clara Morty learned this truth in the gentlest way possible through her own whispered dreams. Night after night, she had sent her wishes into what seemed like an endless void until that transformative evening, when she heard her own voice echo back, carrying ancient wisdom. The universe listens when you do. This revelation speaks to a fundamental truth of manifestation. The universe mirrors our inner dialogue with perfect precision. When you speak to yourself with doubt, doubt responds. When you whisper with certainty, reality arranges itself to match your conviction. The power lies not in the volume of your voice, but in the depth of your belief. Consider how thought, when wrapped in the warmth of love and repetition, crystallizes into unshakable faith. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the activation of universal law. Each night as you rest, your thoughts continue their creative dance, painting tomorrow's reality on the canvas of your consciousness. Joey Caruso understood this instinctively. Each evening he would open his journal and write of moments yet to come, not as wishes but as memories, waiting to be lived. His pen moved across chapters with quiet certainty, describing opportunities, encounters, and achievements as though they had already occurred. As dawn broke, the world seemed to rearrange itself to match his written vision, presenting him with precisely the circumstances he had captured in ink the night before. The subconscious mind possesses no filter for what is real or imagined. It accepts every thought, every feeling as truth, then works tirelessly to align external reality with internal conviction. This is why the moments before sleep hold such transformative potential. In these precious minutes, as conscious resistance fades, your thoughts slip directly into the fertile soil of the subconscious. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, practice this ancient art of conscious creation. Choose a single word that embodies your heart's desire: peace, love, health, abundance. Let this word become more than sound. Let it become sensation. Hum it softly, feeling its vibration in your chest, your throat, your entire being. Allow this gentle resonance to be your lullaby, knowing that as you drift into sleep, this frequency continues to shape your tomorrow. Sleep as though your chosen word has already manifested its reality, as though your dreams have already taken form. This practice bridges the gap between thought and creation, between the world as it is and the world as you envision it. The universe responds not to what you say, but to what you feel to be true. Let your last conscious moments be filled with the certainty that your desires are already in motion, already taking shape in the vast workshop of the night. Chapter 4. The Candle of Recognition. In the depths of night, where silence weaves its own melody, there lies a sacred truth about the rhythms of creation. Like Milli Rinaldi, who discovered wisdom in the dance of candlelight, you too possess the power to harmonize with the universe's gentle vibrations. The flickering flame before Millie's eyes held a message as old as time itself. Our emotional frequency creates the music to which reality dances, each beat of her heart synchronized with the candle's movement, revealing how the outer world mirrors our inner state. This ancient understanding whispers that manifestation flows not from force, but from the delicate attunement of heart and spirit. Your thoughts and feelings are like notes in the universal symphony. When you align them in harmony, you create a resonance that attracts corresponding experiences. Just as a tuning fork causes another of the same frequency to vibrate in response, your emotional state sends ripples through the fabric of existence. Danny Romano's tale illuminates this principle with elegant simplicity. Instead of carrying the weight of worry into his dreams, he chose to replay moments of kindness. Each memory a seed planted in the fertile soil of night. The universe, ever responsive to the quality of our consciousness, returned his generosity multiplied. His story teaches us that what we offer to others before sleep shapes what greets us upon awakening. The law works with mathematical precision. Thoughts infused with genuine feeling become the architects of tomorrow's experiences. When you fall asleep in a state of giving, you activate the eternal law of reciprocity. Like waves returning to shore, every blessing offered returns, transformed into unexpected gifts. This knowledge has been preserved through ages, passed down by those who understood that the final moments before sleep are gateways to manifestation. Your consciousness in these precious minutes programs the hours that follow, like a gardener selecting seeds for tomorrow's harvest. Practice. As night embraces you, settle into your bed and envision a warm, gentle light emanating from your heart center. With each exhale, allow this radiance to expand outward, blessing all it touches. Feel yourself becoming a fountain of goodwill, knowing that this energy flows in perfect circles. What you send out must return. Let this be your final thought as you drift into sleep, resting in the certainty that as you bless others, so too are you blessed. The universe's abundance flows through the channels of giving. Chapter 5. The Whisper Between Heartbeats. In the depths of night, when thoughts spiral like autumn leaves in wind, there exists a compass that never fails, the steady rhythm of your own heart. This truth unveiled itself through the story of Rosie Santoro, who discovered peace not in the silence of an empty room but in the gentle percussion beneath her palm. Night after night, Rose's mind had churned with endless concerns, unpaid bills, uncertain futures, and unspoken fears. Yet one evening, as anxiety threatened to overflow, she placed her hand over her heart. In that simple gesture, she encountered a wisdom older than words. The beating beneath her fingers spoke of continuance, of life's persistent flow, of a force that moved through her whether she worried or not. Within this most intimate connection lies a universal truth. The language of creation speaks through the body's natural rhythms. Your heart beats not through effort or will, but through the same intelligence that turns planets and opens flowers. This force requires no supervision, no anxious oversight. It simply is, and in its being it sustains. Albi Ventura found his gateway to this truth through different means. Each night he would tune his radio to the space between stations where white noise becomes an ocean of sound. He would count the waves of static until counting dissolved into pure awareness. In this practice, he discovered that peace isn't something to achieve. It's something to remember. The body knows harmony. The heart knows balance. When you align with these internal rhythms, you tap into the vast network of universal order. Worry is simply forgotten music, a departure from the natural symphony playing within you. Your heart's rhythm carries ancient wisdom. It knows nothing of past regrets or future fears. It beats only now, only here, in perfect resonance with life itself. This is why placing your hand over your heart acts as a bridge between the visible and invisible worlds, between what you think and what you know. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, rest your hand gently over your heart. Feel its soft, steady cadence. Let its rhythm remind you of the constant support that flows through your life. As your awareness merges with its beating, whisper softly, "Everything works in favor of my peace." Allow this marriage of touch and truth to guide you into sleep, knowing that reassurance travels deeper than thought. Chapter 6. The Night Garden Within. In the quietude of an ancient garden, Vera Janetti discovered a truth that has whispered through the ages. As she walked among luminous flowers, each petal holding the light of an unborn dream, she understood that every hope carries its own radiance. The garden she wandered was not of earth, but of essence where thoughts bloom before their physical manifestation. The wisdom revealed through Vera's journey touches upon a fundamental principle. Your imagination is not merely a realm of fantasy, but the fertile soil from which all creation springs forth within this inner garden. Every thought you nurture becomes a seed. Every emotion the water that nourishes it, and every belief the light that draws it upward toward manifestation. Consider how the universe operates through perfect symmetry. As above, so below. As within, so without. Your inner world is the template for your outer experience. When you tend the garden of your mind with care and intention, the physical world cannot help but reflect its beauty back to you. Tony Belfiore embodied this wisdom through his daily ritual in his garden. As his hands worked the soil, his mind cultivated visions of abundance. Each flower he tended became a living affirmation of prosperity. While others saw him simply gardening, he was engaging in a sacred practice of alignment. Soon opportunities began to blossom in his life with the same natural grace as his flowers. A business partnership unexpectedly flourished. Creative inspirations took root and channels of abundance opened, as if responding to an unspoken call. The physical act of nurturing his garden while holding thoughts of prosperity created a powerful resonance. His story teaches us that when we align our physical actions with our inner visions, we create a harmonious frequency that the universe naturally responds to. The key lies not in the action alone, but in the feeling tone that accompanies it. Your own garden of possibilities awaits your attention. Every thought you cultivate, every emotion you nurture becomes part of this living landscape of potential. The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you water with your attention and nourish with your belief. As twilight approaches each evening, find a moment of stillness and allow yourself to enter your inner garden. Here, amid the soft glow of possibility, touch each blossom that represents your deepest desires. Let your fingers brush against the petal of gratitude. Feel its texture of appreciation. Move gently to the flower of harmony, sensing its perfect balance. Pause at the bloom of abundance, absorbing its limitless nature. Rest your hand upon the blossom of love, allowing its warmth to fill your being. Let sleep embrace you while the fragrance of these inner flowers surrounds you. Know that as you rest, these essences are already weaving themselves into the fabric of your tomorrow. Your dreams will take root in the fertile soil of your subconscious, growing into the reality that awaits your awakening. This ancient practice of tending your inner garden before sleep aligns you with the natural laws of creation. Just as a gardener doesn't dig up seeds to check their progress, trust that your planted intentions are growing in perfect timing. Sleep becomes your sacred time of germination, where what you've planted in consciousness begins its journey into form. Chapter 7. The Feather on the Pillow. A single white feather rested on Gina Spadaro's pillow one evening, soft as moonlight against the fabric. Most would have dismissed it as chance, but Gina recognized the language of divine whispers. For weeks she had been asking the universe for guidance, and here lay her answer. Delicate yet unmistakable. The law of spiritual correspondence teaches that the physical world mirrors our inner state of receptivity. When you align with the frequency of trust, signs appear as naturally as dew drops at dawn. These symbols serve as bridges between the visible and invisible realms, confirming that your prayers echo in the halls of creation. Your thoughts shape reality with the precision of a master artisan, but it is your recognition that brings the sculpture to life. The universe speaks constantly through synchronicities, through moments that seem ordinary until illuminated by awareness. A butterfly landing nearby, a recurring number sequence, or a song that plays at precisely the right moment. These are not coincidences but conversations. Walter Patina's story exemplifies this truth. Each night, as he drifted toward sleep, he experienced himself floating, weightless, and free. Initially, he dismissed these dreams as meaningless until understanding dawned. His subconscious was teaching him to release the burden of doubt. Night after night, as he surrendered to the sensation of floating, his waking hours began to reflect this same lightness of being. Opportunities flowed more easily, relationships smoothed, and solutions appeared as if carried on air. The message whispered through Walter's experience speaks to all who wish to manifest their desires. Trust precedes transformation. Just as a bird cannot fly while clutching stones, you cannot soar into new realities while holding tight to old limitations. The weight of doubt serves as the very anchor that keeps manifestation at bay. This ancient wisdom emerges anew in every age. What you release in faith returns multiplied in form. Your task is not to force reality into shape, but to float upon the current of divine timing, knowing that all unfolds in perfect sequence. Practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, imagine yourself lying upon clouds of gentle faith. With each exhale, release a weight you've been carrying. Perhaps doubt about your path, worry about outcomes, or fear of the unknown. Feel yourself becoming lighter with every breath, supported completely by universal love. Let your body sink into this sensation of being held, knowing that while you rest, all things work together for your highest good. Sleep in this awareness carried on wings of trust into your unfolding destiny. Chapter 8. The Language of Breath. In the depths of a moonless night, Carmela de Meaux paced her room, thoughts racing like autumn leaves in a storm. Her mind clutched at worries, spinning scenarios that robbed her of rest. Until one evening, in the midst of her familiar anxiety, she noticed something extraordinary in its simplicity, her own breath. With each inhalation and exhalation, Carmela discovered a rhythm older than her concerns. The steady flow of air became her anchor, a silent song that required no words. As she surrendered to this natural cadence, her racing thoughts began to slow, then settle like dust in still air. Through breath, she uncovered a truth that the ages have whispered. Complexity dissolves in the presence of pure attention. When you release the need to untangle every thread of thought, wisdom flows naturally, like water finding its course. The universal intelligence speaks most clearly through simplicity. Each breath carries the essence of life itself, a gift that requires no explanation, no analysis, no struggle. In this lies the deepest teaching. The path to transformation often requires not adding wisdom but removing resistance. Raymond Gallo's story mirrors this truth. Night after night, sleeplessness had become his unwanted companion until he discovered the art of breathing gratitude. With each inhale, he would silently welcome a blessing already received. With each exhale, he would release his appreciation into the universe. This simple practice transformed his nights from battles into blessings. The meaning shimmers beneath the surface of Raymond's experience. When gratitude merges with breath, it penetrates deeper than conscious thought. The subconscious mind, that quiet architect of reality, responds not to complexity but to consistency. Like water-shaping stone, each breath of thankfulness carved new channels of peace in his being. Your breath holds the same power. It is both the simplest and most profound tool of transformation at your disposal. When you breathe with conscious intention, you participate in the oldest alchemy, the conversion of air into life, of thought into form, of potential into reality. Practice tonight as you prepare for rest. Allow your breath to become your teacher. With each inhalation, welcome possibility as naturally as air fills your lungs. With each exhalation, release peace into your being. Feel the air as creation's language flowing through you, composing your dreams anew. Let this rhythm carry you into sleep, knowing that each breath participates in the eternal dance of manifestation. Chapter 9. The Clock Without Hands. A clock face appears empty without its hands, yet still holds the essence of time within its circle. Such was the wisdom Tessie Marino discovered in her dreams, where night after night she encountered the same timeless clock mounted on walls of pearl. At first the missing hands troubled her. How could she know the hour, the minute, the precise moment of manifestation? Yet, as the dream repeated, she began to understand. The absence spoke louder than presence. Time in its infinite wisdom moves not by mechanical measure, but through the rhythm of divine order. When you release the need to count moments, you enter the flow of natural unfoldment. The universe operates on a schedule far more sophisticated than human anxiety can comprehend. Consider how a flower blooms. It neither rushes nor delays, but emerges in perfect synchronicity with sun and soil and season. Your desires follow similar natural law. Forcing timeline creates resistance. Patience creates magnetism. When you release the grip of when you allow the how to arrange itself with elegant precision. Salvatore Corsi exemplified this truth through his own transformation. For years he stood watch over his dreams like a guard at a gate, measuring progress in moments and growing weary with waiting. Then one evening, as he sat in his garden, he witnessed a rose bud unfurling. No amount of willing could have hastened its opening, yet in its own time it revealed its beauty completely. This observation shifted something profound in Salvatore's approach. He stopped marking days on calendars and instead marked moments with trust. He replaced anxiety with acceptance, urgency with understanding. Rather than pushing against time, he began floating within it. Within months, opportunities appeared with such natural grace that they seemed to have been approaching all along, waiting for his readiness to receive them. The interpretation speaks clearly. What you seek also seeks you, moving toward you at precisely the right pace. Your task is not to force the timing, but to align with it. Trust transforms waiting into preparation and preparation into perfect timing. Before you rest tonight, settle into the timeless dimension of your own being. Imagine yourself resting on a cloud that floats beyond the reach of clocks and calendars. Here in this sacred space, everything you desire has already found its way to you. Feel how the absence of urgency creates presence of peace. Let your breath move like gentle waves on an eternal shore, each inhale drawing you deeper into trust, each exhale releasing the need to know when. Sleep in this timeless sanctuary where all is eternally well and all is unfolding in divine perfection. Chapter 10. The Voice Beyond the Room. In the depths of night, Lydia Mell lay upon her bed, her heart heavy with questions unanswered. She had spent countless hours searching for direction, consulting books, seeking wisdom from others. Yet true guidance remained elusive. One night, as sleep approached like a gentle mist, she heard her name whispered in the depths of her consciousness, not as sound but as feeling. In that moment she understood that the voice of wisdom had always been present, waiting not for her to find it, but for her to become still enough to receive it. The universe speaks in the language of surrender. When you cease the endless reaching, the striving to grasp what seems beyond reach, you create space for divine wisdom to enter. Like water finding its natural course, guidance flows most freely when we release our grip on how it should appear. Your innermost knowing resides in the silence between thoughts. It whispers through the gaps in your seeking, through the spaces where effort dissolves into acceptance. The answers you seek are not hidden. They wait patiently for you to quiet the noise that drowns their song. Beni Chiara learned this truth through his morning ritual of creation. Each day he would sit at his desk, pen poised above paper, willing inspiration to come. Yet it was only when he laid down his pen, when he released his grip on expected outcomes, that true insight would flow. The morning he stopped forcing was the morning his creativity burst forth like a spring released from winter's grip. In this lies a profound truth. Wisdom arrives not through the front door of conscious effort, but through the open window of peaceful allowing. Your intuition speaks most clearly when you cease trying to direct its voice. Like a butterfly that lands only when you grow still, inner guidance emerges in the space of quiet attention. The art of receiving guidance requires a particular kind of listening, not with your ears but with your whole being. It asks you to trust that the universe's wisdom flows naturally when you align with its rhythm. This alignment comes not through doing, but through being, not through seeking, but through opening. Think of your consciousness as a still lake at dawn. When the surface is disturbed by the ripples of constant seeking, it cannot clearly reflect the sky above. But when the waters grow calm, every star finds its perfect reflection. So too does divine guidance mirror itself in the stillness of your receptive mind, ancient practice of inner listening. As you lie down tonight, imagine the air around you as tender presence. Feel it holding you in gentle awareness. Release the need to search, to question, to understand. Simply rest in the embrace of this moment, allowing your breath to become soft and regular. Ask nothing. Seek nothing. Simply listen to inner quiet until you drift into trust. Let sleep approach as naturally as evening shadows lengthen, knowing that wisdom flows most freely through a heart at peace. Part 2. The Midnights of Becoming. Chapter 11. The River of Remembering. In the depths of night, Nancy Lucicy found herself drifting along a luminous river. Each ripple carried fragments of her childhood, the taste of sweet summer peaches, the warmth of sunlight through leaves, the sound of her grandmother's laughter echoing through an old kitchen. These weren't mere memories. They were keys unlocking the chambers of creation itself. The ancient wisdom reveals that our earliest joys carry the purest vibration of manifestation. When you were young, you didn't question whether happiness was deserved or possible. You simply lived it. This natural state of being, unburdened by doubt, forms the very essence of attraction. The universe responds not to what you think but to what you are. And in moments of pure joy, you become a beacon for miracles. Consider how August Bryant discovered this truth. Each night before closing his eyes, he would recall the wonder he felt as a child watching butterflies emerge from chrysalises in his father's garden. This simple practice of remembering joy shifted his entire energy field. Within weeks, opportunities began appearing in his business like those butterflies, naturally, effortlessly, as if drawn to the light of his rekindled wonder. The deeper teaching crystallizes when you approach life with childlike curiosity. You align with the original frequency of creation. Children don't strain to manifest. They play. And in their play, they paint reality with the colors of their imagination. This is not regression but remembrance. For in those moments of pure delight lies the blueprint of your natural manifesting power. Your past holds these treasures of pure feeling waiting to be reclaimed. Each memory of innocent joy is a seed of potential carrying the exact vibration needed to attract similar experiences. Now the universe doesn't distinguish between past and present joy. It responds to the feeling itself, amplifying whatever emotional note you sound. The ancient practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, recall one moment of pure childhood joy. Perhaps it's the excitement of running through sprinklers, the wonder of catching fireflies, or the simple pleasure of building sand castles. Let this memory fill your entire being. Feel its warmth spread through your chest, its lightness bubble up through your smile. Don't merely remember it, become it again. Allow this feeling to carry you into sleep, knowing that joy's ripples are already creating tomorrow's wonders. Chapter 12. The Key in the Pocket. Sophie Calderon wandered through her dreams, fingers brushing against ancient doors that lined endless corridors. Each door held a mystery, yet the weight of keys in her pocket went unnoticed. Night after night she searched until one dawn she awakened to a startling truth. Her hand had been clutching those keys all along. The searching ends when recognition begins. Within the depths of your consciousness lies every answer you have sought in the outer world. Like Sophie, You may feel lost in corridors of uncertainty, but the keys to transformation rest in your own awareness. What appears locked is merely waiting for your recognition. The universe operates through an elegant principle. That which you seek externally already exists within. Your inner realm holds the blueprint for every miracle you wish to manifest. Marco Vitali discovered this wisdom through nightly affirmation. As darkness fell, he would settle into stillness and speak to his soul. "Everything I seek is inside me." These words, repeated with quiet conviction, began reshaping his reality. Opportunities emerged, relationships healed, and abundance flowed. Not because he changed his outer world, but because he acknowledged his inner treasures. His story illuminates a profound truth. When you recognize your innate completeness, life begins mirroring this understanding. The outer world must eventually conform to your inner knowing. Just as a seed contains the full pattern of its flowering, your consciousness holds the complete design of your destiny. You need not chase what already dwells within you. The answers you seek, the peace you desire, the abundance you wish to manifest, all exist now in the quiet chamber of your awareness. Recognition of this truth is the key that unlocks every door. Ancient practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, envision a warm golden light glowing in your spirit's pocket. This light represents the solutions, insights, and blessings already present within you. Feel their gentle weight, their reassuring presence. Know that as you rest, these inner treasures are preparing to emerge in perfect timing. Let this knowing carry you into dreams where what is hidden becomes revealed and what seems distant proves to have been close all along. Chapter 13. The Ladder of Light. Flora D'Angelo spent her nights dreaming of ascending golden beams of light. With each step upward, her earthly concerns dissolved into the luminous atmosphere around her. Night after night, these ethereal stairs appeared, beckoning her higher into realms of pure possibility. What she discovered through these nocturnal journeys reveals an essential truth about the nature of manifestation. Belief grows stronger through gradual elevation. Just as a child learns to walk by first standing, then taking tentative steps, your connection to universal power strengthens one conscious moment at a time. The light you seek does not arrive in sudden bursts, but through patient accumulation, like dawn approaching slowly yet inevitably. Each small victory over doubt creates another step on your ladder of faith. When you honor this natural progression, resistance melts away like morning mist. Henry Graina exemplified this wisdom through his nightly practice. Paralyzed by fears that limited his potential, he began visualizing himself suspended in gentle radiance before sleep. Each evening he allowed this light to lift him slightly higher than the night before. He never forced the ascension, but surrendered to its natural rhythm. As weeks passed, Henry noticed his waking hours reflected this gradual elevation. Opportunities that once seemed intimidating now felt within reach. Decisions that used to trigger anxiety became easier to navigate. The nightly practice of rising above his fears had trained his spirit to maintain that higher perspective in daylight. His story illuminates the deeper meaning of Flora's dreams. When you consistently imagine yourself rising above limitation, you prepare your consciousness to maintain that elevated state. The key lies not in dramatic leaps, but in patient, steady ascension. Ancient practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, picture a ladder made of pure golden light extending upward from your bed. Feel its warm radiance inviting you to climb one gentle step at a time. With each breath, allow yourself to rise slightly higher, leaving earthly concerns below. Notice how the air becomes lighter, clearer as you ascend. Continue this peaceful elevation until sleep embraces you naturally, knowing you have lifted yourself beyond the reach of doubt. The height you achieve matters less than the feeling of steady, effortless rising. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Silent Symphony. Paula Messina lived alone in a small cottage by the sea. Each evening she would sit in her garden, watching waves crash against distant rocks, feeling separate from the world's rhythm. Her solitude weighed heavily until one twilight moment changed everything. As the sun dipped below the horizon, she noticed how the silence between waves carried its own music, a subtle vibration that seemed to connect sea, sky, and her own heartbeat in perfect harmony. In that moment of recognition, she understood that what appeared as separation was merely an illusion. The teaching reveals itself with crystal clarity. Stillness is not emptiness, but the invisible thread that weaves all existence into one tapestry. When we quiet our minds enough to hear this silent song, we discover our place in the universal symphony. Johnny Ferrara experienced this truth through an extraordinary dream. In his nighttime vision, he stood atop a mountain, raising his hands to conduct the stars themselves. Each celestial body responded to his movements, creating celestial harmonies. What began as chaos transformed into perfect order as he realized every star's light was but one note in an infinite composition. Upon waking, Johnny found himself transformed, no longer seeing others as separate entities, but as instruments in the same grand orchestra. His experience demonstrates a fundamental truth. Unity consciousness does not erase individuality, but reveals its sacred purpose. Like notes in a symphony, we maintain our unique essence while contributing to something far greater than ourselves. The chaos of separation dissolves when we recognize our role in this cosmic arrangement. As twilight approaches, settle into the silence of your room. Place your attention on the space between your breaths. Notice how this quietness is not empty but alive with subtle vibration. Let your awareness expand to include the air touching your skin, the distant sounds filtering through walls, the very space cradling your being. Drift into rest, listening to the silent symphony beneath your breath, feeling every note as belonging to your greater self. Chapter 15. The Lantern in the Attic. In the depths of a dream-touched night, Vivian Mancuso climbed weathered stairs to her attic sanctuary. There, among shadows and forgotten treasures, an ancient lantern caught the moonlight streaming through a dusty window. As she lifted it, its glass panels sparkled with an inner radiance that seemed to emerge from memory itself. Each facet reflected not just light, but glimpses of dreams she had tucked away in the corners of her heart. The universe speaks through such moments of rediscovery. When you encounter something long stored away, it mirrors the talents and aspirations that rest quietly within your soul. These dormant gifts never truly fade. They simply await the touch of recognition to shine once more. The lantern's glow revealed more than mere objects. It illuminated the truth that every dream holds eternal patience. Your deepest desires remain preserved in the treasury of your spirit, untarnished by time's passage. They whisper through the years, waiting for that sacred moment when you are ready to acknowledge their presence again. Louis Patron's journey echoes this wisdom. In his nighttime visions, he found himself opening drawer after drawer in an endless hallway. Each contained fragments of artistic inspiration, half-finished sketches, vibrant paint swatches, and pencil drawings that seemed to breathe with life. These dreams persisted until he finally understood their message. His creative spirit had never left him. It had simply been waiting in the quiet spaces of his soul, what appeared at first to be mere storage space, transformed into a gallery of possibility. With each drawer he opened, memories of childhood joy with paintbrush in hand flooded back. The universe had preserved his artistic essence, keeping it safe until he was prepared to embrace it once more. Your own unacknowledged gifts lie in similar storage, not forgotten but protected. They pulse with potential. Each one a seed of manifestation waiting to bloom. Every talent you've ever felt stirring within remains alive, preserved in perfect condition, anticipating the moment of its recognition. Before you rest tonight, sit quietly in the sanctuary of your bedroom. Place your hand over your heart and whisper gratitude to each hidden talent that dwells within you. Let your inner light, like Vivian's lantern, shine gently upon these treasures. Feel the warmth of acknowledgement awakening each gift, knowing that recognition itself is the key that unlocks manifestation. Allow yourself to drift into sleep, carrying this gentle awareness, trusting that your rediscovered talents are already beginning to glow with renewed purpose. Chapter 16. The Bridge of Soft Gold. In the depths of an ancient valley where mists parted like whispers of possibility, Elelina Ari stood before a bridge that seemed woven from sunlight itself. Each step she took shimmered with promise, though she could not see where the path led. The bridge stretched into clouds that concealed its destination. Yet Elena walked forward, understanding that certainty lives in the heart rather than the eyes. This mystic truth echoes through the ages. The universe speaks in the language of trust. When you align your inner sight with what feels true rather than what appears visible, you activate the eternal law of manifestation. Just as a seed knows to grow before breaking soil, your desires know their way to form before showing themselves to your physical eyes. The bridge between thought and manifestation exists in the realm of feeling. It is built not of wood or stone, but of unwavering faith. Each time you choose to trust despite uncertainty, you lay another golden plank in your path forward. The universe responds not to what you see, but to what you believe with unshakable knowing. Gerald Santini embodied this wisdom through his nightly practice. In the quiet of his chamber, he would envision golden bridges stretching from his present circumstance to his desired reality. Though he could not see the other shore, he felt its certainty in his heart. Within days, opportunities began arriving. Letters of invitation, chance meetings, unexpected doors opening, each one matching the exact nature of his visualized connections. The bridges you build in consciousness become the paths you walk in experience. Every thought infused with trust creates an invisible architecture that reality must follow. The universe cannot help but respond to the blueprint of your certainty. Consider how a spider spins its web before seeing the full design, each strand connected by instinct rather than sight. Similarly, your consciousness weaves the strands of manifestation through pure trust, creating pathways that become solid beneath your feet only after you dare to step forward. As night approaches and you prepare for rest, settle into the sacred practice passed down by those who understood this golden law. Lay quietly and sense a bridge of light extending from your heart. Feel it reaching across the gentle river of sleep toward the shore where your fulfilled desires await. You need not strain to see the other side. Simply know it exists with the same certainty that dawn follows dusk. Let each breath strengthen this bridge of trust until sleep carries you across its gleaming expanse. The morning will find you closer to your dreams, for what is built in faith manifests in form. End of scene. Chapter 17. The Diamond Breath. Gloria Tedesco lay beneath the stars one night, her breath forming gentle clouds in the cool air. As she drifted between waking and dreaming, she noticed something extraordinary. Each exhalation carried tiny points of light like diamonds floating upward to join the constellations. With every breath, her words of appreciation transformed into crystalline light until the entire sky sparkled with her gratitude. The universe reveals a sacred truth through glorious experience. Words spoken with love possess an alchemical power. Each syllable uttered in genuine appreciation becomes a seed of light growing into manifestation. Your voice, when aligned with pure intention, creates ripples in the fabric of reality itself. Ricky Benfatti discovered this truth through his own practice. Each evening he would whisper words of thankfulness for blessings yet to come. At first it seemed a simple ritual, but soon he noticed a curious pattern emerging. His days began filling with meaningful coincidences, chance meetings that led to opportunities, unexpected gifts that matched his whispered wishes, and solutions appearing precisely when needed. These were not mere accidents, but the natural outcome of aligning his verbal vibration with universal law. Every word carries a frequency, and when spoken with authentic feeling, it becomes a bridge between thought and form. Your voice is an instrument of creation, each utterance sending ripples through the quantum field of possibility. The air around you is alive with potential, waiting to be shaped by your spoken truth. When you infuse your words with genuine love and gratitude, they crystallize into tangible blessings. Like glorious diamond breath, your appreciative whispers seed the atmosphere with points of light that eventually constellate into manifest reality. This ancient knowledge reveals why cultures throughout time have honored the power of sacred sound. From mantras to prayers to affirmations, those who came before understood that reality responds to the vibration of conscious speech. Practice for crystallizing blessings. As you prepare for sleep tonight, Lie quietly and begin to whisper words of gratitude. Start with the smallest appreciations and let them build naturally. Feel each word carrying light as it leaves your lips. Continue this gentle practice until you sense your words becoming luminous in the darkness. Then allow yourself to drift into sleep beneath your own diamond sky of spoken blessings, knowing that each grateful whisper is already crystallizing into tomorrow's gifts. Chapter 18. The Letter That Wrote Itself. In the depths of night, Nancy Balalichsai sat at her dream desk, her heart full of longing. With trembling hands, she wrote her deepest wishes on paper that seemed to glow with moonlight. As she sealed the envelope with a tear of hope, the letter dissolved into stardust, carried away by an unseen wind. When morning came, she found an envelope on her pillow sealed with golden light. Inside, written in shimmering script, was a single word: answered. The universe operates through an invisible postal system carrying messages between your heart and the infinite. Each sincere thought rises like incense. Each pure feeling flows like sacred ink across the chapters of existence. When you release your desires without grasping, they travel faster than light through the corridors of creation. Your role is not to track the delivery or demand arrival confirmation. The cosmic mail never loses its way. Every authentic wish sent from your soul already bears the stamp of fulfillment. The universe's response awaits in the quiet spaces between your thoughts. Carlo Pipetone understood this truth during a time of financial uncertainty. Instead of clutching worry like crumpled papers, he began writing imaginary letters of appreciation each night. "Thank you for the abundance that flows to me," he would write in his mind, sending each message into the vastness with perfect trust. Within weeks, unexpected opportunities appeared, each one bearing the distinctive mark of divine correspondence. His story reminds us that anxiety is simply misplaced faith. When we redirect that same energy into trusting surrender, we allow the universal delivery system to work without interference. Your desires need no tracking number. Your dreams require no express shipping. The slower path of trust leads paradoxically to swifter manifestation, the practice of celestial correspondence. As you prepare for sleep tonight, sit quietly and imagine writing a letter expressing your heart's truest desire. Feel the warmth of certainty flow through your hand as you write. Seal your cosmic envelope with love rather than urgency. Now release it into the starlit air above your bed, knowing the universal postal service never fails to deliver. Let sleep carry you into dreams while the answer makes its way back to you. Trust that your letter has already been received, read, and answered with infinite care. Chapter 19. The Dream Clock Maker. In the depths of night, Peggy Bravati found herself in a workshop filled with timepieces. Each clock showed a different hour, their discordant ticking, creating a chaotic symphony. With gentle patience, she began adjusting each mechanism, listening for the perfect rhythm hidden within the discord. As she worked, the cacophony slowly transformed into harmony until every clock pulsed as one heartbeat. The universe operates through precise synchronicity. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align, you tap into this cosmic clockwork. Like Peggy's dream revealed, inner harmony creates outer order. The ticking of time itself responds to the frequency of your being. This truth echoes through the ages. Manifestation flows not from scattered energy, but from the perfect alignment of intention, feeling, and deed. When these three gears mesh in perfect synchronicity, reality reshapes itself to match their rhythm. Vinnie Delar Roa discovered this wisdom through nightly practice. As he lay in bed, he imagined each breath as a golden gear turning in perfect time with universal law. With every inhale, he felt his thoughts clicking into place. With every exhale, his emotions settled into deeper resonance. Night after night, he maintained this practice until his outer world began moving in harmony with his inner vision. His story teaches us that consistent alignment, even in the quiet moments before sleep, creates ripples of order in the waking world. Just as a master clockmaker adjusts tiny mechanisms to achieve perfect timing, you too can fine-tune your inner workings to match the universe's natural rhythm. The ancient wisdom reveals itself when mind, heart, and action unite in purpose. Time itself becomes your ally. Every moment aligns with your highest good. Every circumstance arranges itself in your favor. Practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, become aware of your breath as a golden pendulum swinging in perfect time. With each inhale, feel your thoughts settling into clarity. With each exhale, sense your emotions aligning with your intentions. Let your breath become the master key that synchronizes mind, heart, and body into one harmonious movement. Rest in the knowing that as you align within, your outer world must follow this same perfect timing. Chapter 20. The Ocean That Kissed the Moon. In the depths of night, Charlotte Russ witnessed a vision that unveiled one of creation's most sacred mysteries. Each evening, as she gazed from her window, she observed the ocean's tender reach toward the luminous moon hanging low in the velvet sky. The waters below moved with purposeful devotion, rising to meet the celestial light that beckoned from above. Within this eternal dance lies a fundamental truth of manifestation. The universe responds to those who move toward their desires with unwavering faith. Just as the ocean lifts itself through invisible gravity, your intentions rise naturally when aligned with divine timing. The meeting point between your effort and universal grace creates the perfect conditions for manifestation. This principle found its echo in Tony Fella's story. Each evening he would take one step toward his aspirations, knowing the universe would match his movement. When seeking to establish his art gallery, he began by simply clearing a space in his garage. That very week, a mentor appeared offering guidance. As he arranged lighting for his makeshift gallery, a benefactor contacted him about a downtown storefront. With each action he took, the universe extended its hand in kind. The teaching crystallizes. Manifestation flows through the law of mutual attraction. You need not strain to reach your highest dreams, nor wait passively for them to arrive. Instead, like the ocean's tide responding to lunar pull, move steadily toward your vision while trusting in the reciprocal nature of creation. Your sincere effort activates universal support. The wisdom reveals that we exist in perfect partnership with infinite intelligence. Just as the moon draws the waters upward through invisible force, your heartfelt desires pull manifestation toward you through subtle energy. Yet like the ocean, you must rise to meet what calls you. This is not effort born of struggle, but the natural movement of aligned purpose. Practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, envision your life as a vast, peaceful ocean. Feel your consciousness rising like gentle waters toward the moonlight of your dreams. Let your breath mirror this effortless reaching, knowing that what you seek also moves toward you. Rest in the certainty that like tide meeting moon, your sincere intention joins with universal power in the space between earth and sky. Allow this sacred dance to continue as you drift into slumber, trusting in the perfect partnership between your faith and life's limitless grace. Part 3. The Morning of Emergence. Chapter 21. The garden gate opens. Mabel Spataro gazed each night at an ancient iron gate woven with vines and starlight. For months she would approach it in her dreams, feeling its cool metal beneath her fingertips, whispering her deepest wishes into its intricate patterns. Though it remained steadfast, she never lost her gentle certainty that one night it would yield. When that moment arrived, it came not with fanfare, but with the soft sigh of recognition. The gate didn't burst open. It simply released as naturally as a flower turning toward dawn. In that instant, Mabel understood that her patience had not been waiting at all, but a quiet gathering of power. The universe speaks in the language of gradual unfolding. Each prayer, each moment of unwavering belief adds to an invisible treasury of potential. Like water-shaping stone, your consistent faith shapes circumstance, not through force, but through loving persistence. Angelo Biscanti embodied this truth through nightly practice. In the depths of uncertainty, when his business seemed stalled and opportunities scarce, he would lie in bed and whisper, "I am grateful for the abundance flowing into my life." He spoke these words not with desperate need, but with serene acceptance. For 3 seasons, Angelo maintained this ritual. While others might have seen stagnation, he recognized the sacred pause before manifestation. Then, like tributaries joining a river, invitations began arriving, speaking engagements, partnerships, and possibilities that mirrored his inner vision with stunning precision. The subtle power of Angelo's experience illuminates a universal principle. What appears as delay often serves as preparation. Each night you hold faith despite silence. You strengthen the bridge between intention and manifestation. Your unwavering trust, even without visible evidence, weaves the very fabric of future blessing. The gate in Mabel's dream and Angelo's patient affirmations reveal that breakthrough arrives not through forcing but through faithful presence. Every moment spent in alignment with your vision, every breath of gratitude despite circumstances oils the hinges of destiny's door. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, know that your own garden gate awaits. Let your breath become a gentle key, your trust a soft hand on ancient metal. Sleep in the certainty that each night of belief adds to the momentum of your unfolding miracle. The gate opens not through might, but through the accumulated power of persistent faith. Tonight rest knowing each repetition of trust oils the hinges of your garden gate. Chapter 22. The Cloud That Remembered. An ancient wisdom whispers that the space between sleep and waking holds sacred power. In this ethereal realm, Sally Ballone discovered the art of gentle manifestation. Night after night she found herself ascending to a place where clouds gathered, each one responsive to her touch. As her fingers traced shapes in the mist, the clouds transformed, becoming vessels of possibility, mirrors of her deepest aspirations. The universe speaks through such experiences, revealing that reality itself possesses the same malleable nature as those celestial clouds. Just as water vapor yields to intention, so too does the fabric of existence respond to sustained imagination, wrapped in genuine emotion. Your thoughts, when held with unwavering tenderness, become the invisible hands that shape tomorrow's truth. Peter Campanella understood this principle through his own nocturnal practice. Each evening as twilight painted the sky, he would sit quietly and watch the clouds drift past his window. In this sacred moment, he entrusted his prayers to these floating messengers, imbuing each with the warmth of his belief. As days unfolded, he witnessed how life began orchestrating events that echoed his cloud-carried intentions. A hoped-for job opportunity materialized unexpectedly. A long-sought connection emerged naturally, and paths cleared as if swept by unseen winds. The truth unveiled through Peter's experience illuminates a fundamental law. When vision is held with steadfast gentleness, it acquires the power to transform ethereal thought into solid reality. Like a sculptor working with clay, your sustained focus shapes the formless into form. Yet unlike physical art, this creation occurs through the delicate persistence of heart-centered imagination. This mirrors the eternal dance between thought and manifestation. Just as clouds retain their shape until winds redirect them, your visions maintain their creative power as long as you hold them with loving attention. Each moment spent in alignment with your dreams adds another layer of substance to their eventual expression. Clears throat ancient practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, lie quietly and imagine your deepest dreams as luminous clouds floating gently above. Watch as they hold their shape with perfect clarity, glowing with inner light. Feel the warmth of certainty as you observe them, knowing that dawn approaches, bearing gifts of manifestation. Allow yourself to drift into slumber beneath this canopy of possibility, trusting that what floats in consciousness today descends as reality tomorrow. Chapter 23. The Library of Sleep. In the depths of midnight, Dolores Palladino discovered herself wandering through towering shelves that seemed to stretch into eternity. Each leather-bound volume pulsed with its own subtle light. And as she traced her fingers along their spines, she felt the vibration of countless possible destinies humming beneath her touch. These were not ordinary books. They were living chronicles of paths yet untaken, adventures yet undreamed, and miracles yet unmanifested. The universe speaks to us through the language of possibility. Within the sacred archive of your consciousness lies every version of yourself you might become. Each thought you entertain, each emotion you nurture reaches toward one of these infinite volumes, pulling it closer to manifestation. When you understand this truth, you realize that your current experience represents merely one book pulled from these cosmic shelves. Just as easily as you might select a different book to read, you may choose a different reality to live. The power of selection rests eternally in your hands. Freddie Ainelmo understood this principle intuitively. Each night before sleep claimed him, he would imagine himself selecting the most uplifting story he could conceive. He visualized himself as the protagonist of tales filled with triumph, love, and abundance. As naturally as dawn follows dusk, his daily life began reflecting the themes of his chosen narratives. His method was elegantly simple. Rather than allowing his mind to drift randomly through worried thoughts, he consciously selected the story he wished to live. He treated his nighttime visualization as seriously as a librarian cataloging precious manuscripts. Through this practice, he discovered that life has an uncanny way of conforming to our most treasured inner narratives. The shelves of the Universal Library hold every possible version of your story. There exists a volume where you are already living your grandest dreams, where your heart's desires have manifested with grace and ease. This version is no less real than your current experience. It simply awaits your selection. When you lay your head upon your pillow tonight, know that you stand in this infinite library. Feel the quiet power of choice at your fingertips. The perfect story of your life glows softly, waiting for you to reach out and claim it. Practice. As sleep approaches, envision yourself walking through the hushed aisles of your soul's library. Let your hand be drawn to that one special book that contains the story of your most radiant self. Take it gently from the shelf. Open its chapters and read it with your heart rather than your eyes. Allow each word to pulse with your heartbeat until the story becomes your own. Drift into slumber, knowing you have selected the perfect volume from which tomorrow's reality will spring. Chapter 24. The Meadow of Returning Light. In a valley untouched by time, Irene Casella walked through a meadow where shadows danced across wild flowers. Each time darkness passed, the following light blazed more brilliantly than before. With every step she witnessed nature's quiet wisdom, how the grass bent but never broke. How flowers turned their faces toward light even before it appeared. The meadow taught what the ages have whispered. Shadows are not end points but passages. Each temporary darkness serves as contrast, making the returning light more vivid, more appreciated. Through this rhythm, Irene discovered that faith does not eliminate darkness but transforms it into a herald of coming brightness. Within the eternal laws that govern creation lies this truth. Light always returns stronger for having conquered shadow. Your spirit knows this wisdom intimately, just as the sun must set to rise again in greater glory. Temporary shadows in your path signal approaching illumination. The universe operates through cycles of renewal, each apparent descent preparing the way for heightened ascent. Ralph Moreno embodied this principle during a period when fortune seemed to turn against him. Rather than resisting shadows, he learned to welcome them as teachers. Each evening he would sit quietly and reframe the day's challenges as preparation for tomorrow's victories. When business opportunities disappeared, he thanked the universe for clearing space for better ones. When relationships ended, he blessed them for teaching him about deeper love. Gradually, Ralph noticed a pattern. Every setback preceded a leap forward. Every loss opened space for greater gain. His willingness to trust during darker moments magnetized unexpected blessings. Job offers arrived from companies he'd never approached. New friendships formed through chance encounters. His entire life began operating on the principle of spiritual compound interest, where temporary shadows multiplied returning light. The interpretation of these experiences reveals nature's secret. Resilience is not about avoiding darkness, but about maintaining unwavering faith in the dawn. When you trust the process of renewal, even sleep becomes a sacred darkness preparing you for awakening. Rest is not an ending but a cocoon of transformation. Practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, imagine the soft darkness of your room as nurturing space where renewal works in silence. Feel any shadows in your life growing lighter at their edges, already beginning to fade. With each breath, sense dawn's fingers reaching toward you with restoration. Let your final thoughts rest in the certainty that while you sleep, light gathers strength for your tomorrow. Drift into dreams knowing that every shadow in your path is simply the universe preparing to reveal greater radiance. Chapter 25. The Music Box Heart. In the depths of night, Francine Penny kept a treasured silver music box beside her bed. Its delicate mechanism, worn smooth by years of tender winding, produced notes that seemed to float like starlight through her bedroom. Each evening she would perform this sacred ritual, 3 gentle turns of the key, no more, no less. As the melody began its soft journey through the darkness, she allowed her breath to sync with its rhythm, her worries dissolving into the ethereal tune. The universe speaks in patterns, and those who listen with patient hearts discover that repetition holds profound power. Each turn of Francine's music box key was more than mere habit. It was an invitation to harmony, a signal to the cosmic orchestra that she was ready to receive its gifts. Night after night, as the same melody filled her room, her life began to arrange itself with similar grace, circumstances aligning like notes in a familiar song. This truth echoes through the ages. When we wrap our repetitive actions in genuine love, we create a magnetic field of manifestation. The mechanical precision of routine, when infused with heartfelt intention, transforms into a spiritual technology that shapes our reality. Like a composer carefully placing each note, our consistent loving thoughts arrange the symphony of our experience. Dominic Ventresca understood this principle through his own evening practice. Each night before sleep claimed him, he would speak blessings aloud, simple, heartfelt words of gratitude and hope. His voice, carrying the warmth of genuine care, became a brush painting gentler horizons. Days that once seemed harsh began to soften their edges, as if life itself responded to the tenderness in his nightly ritual. The wisdom revealed through Dominic's experience shows us that, when we orchestrate our thoughts with affection, the external world begins to dance to our inner music. His spoken blessings were like seeds planted in fertile silence, blooming into unexpected moments of grace throughout his days. Just as a music box must be wound to share its melody, our inner instrument requires daily attention. The power lies not in complexity, but in the loving consistency with which we tend to our spiritual practice. Each turn of the key, each whispered blessing, adds another note to the symphony of manifestation we are creating. Ancient sages knew this secret. It is not the grandeur of our rituals, but the love we invest in their repetition that opens the gates of transformation. When we approach our practice with the same gentle dedication as Francine with her music box, we attune ourselves to the universal harmony that orchestrates all creation. Practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, imagine your heart as a sacred music box. With each breath, feel it turning gently, playing a melody of pure intention. Let this inner music shape the rhythm of tomorrow's unfolding grace. Rest in the knowledge that this simple practice performed with love is already composing the symphony of your desired reality. Chapter 26. The Window of Infinite Skis. In the depths of twilight, Josie Lombardi discovered a window in her dream that seemed perpetually dusty. Night after night she would clean it, watching as each gentle sweep revealed more of the boundless cosmos beyond. At first, she saw only fragments of stars through the grime of old thoughts. But as her dedication to clarity grew, entire constellations emerged, then galaxies, until finally the window opened to infinite skis that held every possibility. The universe speaks in whispers of wisdom through such visions. When you clear away the accumulated dust of doubt, worry, and past disappointments, your inner window reveals the vastness of what awaits. Each thought that clouds your vision is but a temporary veil, easily dissolved through conscious attention. The mind, like a window, requires regular tending. Let your thoughts be as pure as morning light, your intentions as clear as mountain air. The universe responds not to what you wish to see, but to what you have prepared yourself to perceive. In the clarity of an uncluttered mind, miracles appear as naturally as sunrise. Eddie Calderella understood this profound truth. Each night before rest, he would sit quietly examining any grievances or judgments that had accumulated during the day. One by one, he would release them through forgiveness, not as an act of virtue, but as a practical cleansing of his inner sight. He discovered that holding on to resentment was like allowing smudges to gather on his window to the world. Through this nightly practice, Eddie found his days growing increasingly luminous. Opportunities he had never noticed before seemed to sparkle in plain sight. Relationships smoothed themselves out effortlessly. Even challenges appeared different, not as obstacles, but as stepping stones, perfectly placed along his path. His story reminds us that clarity is not achieved through force, but through gentle, persistent care. Just as you would not attack a dusty window with harsh scrubbing, your inner vision clears most effectively through soft attention and patient release. The wisdom contained in these experiences reveals a fundamental truth. Your perception creates your reality. When you maintain clarity in your inner window, the universe has no choice but to reflect that clarity back to you in external circumstances. Every moment of forgiveness, every release of judgment, every gentle wiping away of fear serves to reveal more of the infinite possibilities that have always existed just beyond the veil of cluttered thinking. Ancient practice of the window. As you settle into rest tonight, imagine sitting before your inner window. Feel yourself lifting a soft cloth of awareness to its surface. With each breath, gently wipe away the day's accumulated thoughts. Let your exhale carry away old worries. Your inhale bring fresh clarity. Continue until you sense the vast blue of pure possibility spreading before you. Then allow sleep to carry you into that infinite sky, knowing tomorrow's view will match the clarity you've restored within. Chapter 27. The Silver Thread. In the depths of night, Phoebe Marino found herself floating in a dream space where darkness gave way to gentle luminescence. Above her, a magnificent sun pulsed with golden warmth, and from her heart emerged a delicate silver thread that stretched upward, connecting her to this celestial source. As the thread glowed stronger, she felt waves of peace wash through her being, dissolving all sense of separation. This sacred connection exists within you at every moment. The silver thread represents your unbreakable bond with the infinite source of all creation. When you acknowledge this connection, you tap into an endless stream of abundance, wisdom, and love. Just as a ray of sunshine remains eternally connected to its source, you too are forever linked to the divine supply that creates worlds. Tommy Jackson discovered this truth during a period of uncertainty in his life. Each night before sleep, instead of dwelling on worries, he would quiet his mind and focus on feeling this divine connection. He imagined himself as a living extension of universal intelligence, knowing that guidance would flow naturally through this awareness. Morning after morning, he began receiving clear direction for his path, sometimes as gentle nudges, other times as vivid insights that illuminated his next steps. The silver thread of connection cannot be severed, only forgotten. When you remember this truth, fear loses its grip on your consciousness. How can you lack anything when you're linked directly to the source of all creation? This awareness transforms your relationship with life itself. You begin to see that you're not a separate entity struggling alone, but a natural extension of infinite intelligence expressing itself uniquely through you. Through every heartbeat, this connection pulses with life force. Through every breath, it renews itself. Your role is simply to remember and trust in this eternal bond. When doubt arises, return to the knowing that you are always held in the embrace of universal love. Let this awareness be your comfort and your strength. Ancient practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, lie quietly and bring your awareness to the center of your chest. Feel a soft silvery light beginning to glow there. With each breath, sense this light extending upward, forming a luminous thread that connects you to infinite source. Allow yourself to rest in the peaceful knowing that you are eternally linked to all good. Let this connection cradle you into restful slumber, knowing that divine guidance flows to you even as you sleep. Chapter 28. The Whisper of Completion. In the depths of night, Lola Ventro lay awake, her mind racing with desires and dreams yet to manifest. As exhaustion finally drew her toward sleep, a gentle voice whispered through her consciousness, "All is already fulfilled." In that moment, her struggle dissolved into sacred understanding. The very act of reaching had kept her separate from her good. The teachings reveal an eternal truth. Detachment is not abandonment of desires, but rather the profound recognition that completion already exists in the peaceful center of your being. When you release the desperate grip of wanting, you discover that everything you seek has been waiting quietly within. The universe responds not to the intensity of your pursuit, but to the depth of your acceptance. Jimmy Del Vecchio exemplified this wisdom through his own transformation. For years, he had chased success with relentless determination, pushing against invisible barriers that seemed to multiply with each effort. One evening, sitting in his garden, he simply stopped. He allowed himself to rest in the knowing that all was well, that striving itself had become his only obstacle. In the weeks that followed, opportunities began flowing to him with natural ease, not because he had finally earned them, but because he had created space for them to arrive. The mystery unveils itself. When you cease the endless reaching, you discover your arms have always been full. Your desires manifest not through force, but through the gentle art of allowing. Each breath of acceptance opens another door. Each moment of surrender reveals another gift. The interpretation of Jimmy's journey shows us that the absence of striving becomes an invitation to grace. What we chase often eludes us, while what we peacefully accept flows naturally into our experience. The universe responds not to desperation, but to the quiet certainty that all is well. Ancient practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, settle into the softness of your breath. With each inhale, receive the knowing that everything is complete. With each exhale, release the need to make anything happen. Let your breath become a lullaby of fulfillment, singing softly, "All is done. All is well." Float in this awareness until sleep embraces you, knowing that in this sacred surrender, everything you desire is already yours. Chapter 29. The Gentle Phoenix. Trudy Ragusa slept peacefully one autumn evening when her consciousness shifted into a remarkable vision. In her dream, she stood before a great fire that seemed to call her name. Rather than feeling fear, she stepped forward with complete trust. As the flames embraced her instead of burning away, her form began to shimmer and transform into pure radiance. She became aware that the fire wasn't consuming her. It was revealing her true essence. This sacred truth echoes through the ages. Transformation guided by inner awareness leads not to destruction, but to revelation. When we approach change with wisdom rather than resistance, we discover that what appears as ending is merely the shedding of old forms to reveal our luminous nature. The universe operates not through destruction, but through gentle unveiling. Paul Sinatra exemplified this principle during a period of deep challenge in his life. Where others might have collapsed under the weight of circumstances, he chose a different path. Each evening he would sit quietly and transform every feeling of guilt or regret into an expression of gratitude. "Thank you for showing me where I need to grow," he would whisper to his difficulties. "Thank you for preparing me for greater understanding." Within weeks, his entire experience shifted. What had seemed like obstacles became stepping stones. His challenges didn't vanish. They transformed into teachers. Through this practice, Paul discovered that renewal doesn't require the death of the old self, but rather its gentle transformation through acceptance and appreciation. The wisdom revealed through Paul's journey shows us that true renewal occurs not through forceful change, but through quiet acknowledgement of life's teachings. When we honor our experiences as guides rather than adversaries, we participate in our own gentle rebirth. Every challenge carries within it the seed of greater awareness, waiting to blossom through our recognition. Ancient practice of luminous renewal. As you prepare for sleep tonight, find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take several deep, gentle breaths. Now, one by one, call to mind any difficulties or pains you've experienced. Rather than pushing them away, thank each one softly for the strength, wisdom, or compassion it has cultivated within you. Feel how each acknowledgement lightens your being, transforming heavy energy into soft radiance. Continue until you sense a subtle glow of peace surrounding you. Then allow yourself to drift into sleep, knowing that your conscious gratitude is polishing your spirit's wings, preparing you for gentle elevation into new awareness. Rest in the quiet certainty that renewal is already breathing through you, as natural as starlight emerging at dusk. Chapter 30. The Morning Mirror. In the depths of a winter evening, Nora Bellantini gazed into her mirror and witnessed something extraordinary. The reflection that met her eyes held a luminosity she had never seen before. not a physical light, but rather an inner radiance that seemed to emanate from within. This wasn't merely about appearance. It was the visible manifestation of her inner transformation. The subtle art of becoming lies not in forcing change, but in recognizing what already exists within. Your true self waits patiently beneath layers of doubt and hesitation like a masterpiece hidden beneath an old canvas. Each night as you rest, this masterpiece gains clarity, waiting for your recognition. When you align your thoughts with the highest version of yourself, the universe conspires to match your inner vision. This is not about creating something new, but rather unveiling what has always been. The mirror becomes not just a reflective surface, but a portal through which your highest self emerges. Victor Rosa understood this profound truth. Each night before sleep, he would stand before his mirror and speak words of appreciation to himself. Not empty praise, but genuine acknowledgement of his inner worth. At first it felt uncomfortable, almost foreign. Yet as days turned to weeks, something shifted. His colleagues began responding to him differently. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach suddenly appeared within grasp. He had not changed who he was. He had simply allowed his true nature to surface. The mirror serves as more than a looking glass. It becomes a threshold between what is and what can be. Your reflection shows not just your present form, but holds within it the seed of your becoming. Each glance carries the potential for recognition, not of who you have been, but of who you truly are. This gentle awakening requires no force, no strain. It asks only for your willing acknowledgement of the brilliance that already resides within. Like a flower turning naturally towards sunlight, your essence emerges when given the space to unfold. Practice for tonight. As the day draws to a close, stand before your mirror in soft light. Look deeply into your own eyes and see beyond the surface reflection. Recognize the wisdom, strength, and light that have always lived within you. Smile gently at your reflection, acknowledging this moment of sacred recognition. As you prepare for sleep, carry this image with you. Your reflection smiling back from tomorrow, thanking you for believing. Rest in that gentle recognition of your becoming. Part 4. The Eternal Echo of Awakening. Chapter 31. The Door of Quiet Triumph. Rita Caponelli dreamed. She opened a door to a hall filled not with applause but with stillness, gently nodding yes. In that sacred space she discovered that validation echoes most purely in silence. The air itself seemed to bow in recognition, teaching her that the loudest approval comes from the quiet center of being. Within this mystery lies a profound truth. Achievement needs no fanfare to be real. The universe acknowledges through peace rather than noise, through stillness rather than spectacle. When you align with your authentic path, even the space between heartbeats whispers confirmation. Success in its truest form speaks in the language of inner harmony. It is not measured by the volume of acclaim but by the depth of your peace. When you stand in alignment with your soul's purpose, external validation becomes unnecessary. For truth needs no audience to be true. Benny Florenzi embodied this wisdom through his own journey of self-discovery. Night after night, he released his grip on proving himself to others. Instead of seeking approval, he began appreciating the quiet unfoldment of his own growth. With each passing evening, his need for recognition dissolved into a gentle acceptance of who he was becoming. The fruits of his practice manifested not in thunderous applause, but in a deepening sense of rightness with himself. His achievements grew naturally like flowers turning toward sunshine, requiring no praise to confirm their beauty. Through this, Benny revealed that true accomplishment blooms in the garden of self-acknowledgement. This story illuminates a timeless truth. The most profound victories often go uncelebrated by the world yet are deeply felt within. The soul knows its own worth without requiring external confirmation. Your growth, your becoming, your unfolding. These are sacred processes that flourish best in the soil of quiet self-recognition. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, find a comfortable position and imagine standing before a doorway of calm victory. Feel the gentle weight of achievement settling around you like a soft mantle of light. Listen to your breath as it whispers congratulations for who you already are. Let each inhale acknowledge your journey. Each exhale release the need for validation beyond your own knowing. Rest in this space of quiet triumph, understanding that your presence alone is enough. Sleep will come as a natural extension of this peace, carrying you into dreams already blessed by self-acceptance. Chapter 32. The Lantern of the Sea. In the depths of a moonless night, Maria Traversa lay upon waters that seemed to hold no bottom, yet cradled her with infinite tenderness. With each beat of her heart, ripples of soft light spread outward, illuminating the darkness ahead like nature's own compass. She did not swim or struggle, but allowed herself to float, discovering that her heartbeat's rhythm guided her perfectly through the night waters. When fear whispered at the edges of her consciousness, she noticed how the water's glow dimmed. Yet when she returned to trust, the luminescence strengthened once again. This dance between fear and faith taught her that guidance responds to our deepest beliefs, appearing brightest when we release our grip on control. The universe speaks through the quiet language of inner knowing. Each heartbeat carries wisdom that the mind alone cannot grasp. Just as water knows its path to the sea without consulting maps, your intuition knows the way to your highest good without requiring explanations. Giovanni Bellucci understood this truth through living it. Each morning, rather than consulting his carefully laid plans, he would pause and listen to the subtle promptings of his inner voice. When logic urged him to rush, something deeper suggested patience. When conventional wisdom pointed left, his heart quietly indicated right. By following these gentle nudges, he discovered that life had already arranged perfect timing for his endeavors. Opportunities appeared precisely when he was ready, neither too early nor too late. The light within knows what the mind cannot fathom. Like stars that guide sailors across vast oceans, your intuition illuminates the path one step at a time. It does not reveal the entire journey at once, for such knowledge would overwhelm. Instead, it offers just enough light for the next step, then the next, teaching us to walk in faith rather than sight. Your heartbeat is the original oracle, pulsing with ancient wisdom that precedes thought. When you align with its rhythm, you align with the timing of the universe itself. Each beat carries you forward like a wave, knowing exactly where to deposit its precious cargo upon the shore of manifestation. As you drift to sleep tonight, feel your heartbeat as a beacon lighting the waves of your tomorrow, steady and safe. Let each pulse remind you that you are carried by a wisdom greater than planning, guided by a light stronger than logic. Rest in the knowing that your heart's rhythm is perfectly attuned to the symphony of divine timing. Chapter 33. The Garden of Returned Voices. In the depths of a velvet night, Connie Sperino lay in her garden, humming softly to the moon flowers. As sleep gently claimed her, she drifted into a dream, where every blossom opened its petals like tiny mouths, returning her lullabibus in perfect harmony. Each note she had ever sung with love floated back to her, multiplied thousandfold, creating a symphony of remembered tenderness. The night air vibrates with an eternal truth. No loving intention ever dissolves into nothingness. Every whispered blessing, every song of gratitude weaves itself into the fabric of creation, gathering strength until it returns to its source. Like echoes in an infinite chamber, they multiply and transform yet maintain their original essence of love. Louis Palmetto understood this principle through his own experience. Years ago, he began planting kindness in small ways. A gentle word here, a helping hand there, never expecting return. He would often pause before sleep, releasing these acts of goodwill into the universe without attachment. As seasons passed, he noticed how his life bloomed with unexpected blessings. Friends appeared when needed most, opportunities arose at perfect moments, and grace seemed to follow his footsteps. The seeds of kindness he had scattered, seemingly forgotten, had taken root in the fertile soil of universal law. The subtle mechanism of this truth reveals itself in nature's own patterns. Consider how a single flower releases its fragrance without discrimination. Yet that same sweetness returns as nectar through the work of countless bees. So too do our gentle offerings multiply through channels we cannot see, returning in forms we might not recognize, but our hearts instantly know. This law operates continuously whether we witness its workings or not. Each kind thought, Each loving word sets in motion waves of harmony that ripple outward, touching shores beyond our sight before flowing back to us. The universe in its infinite wisdom ensures that no genuine expression of love goes unnourished or unreturned. Before you rest tonight, whisper something tender to the world. A blessing, a thank you, a gentle wish for another's happiness. Feel these words leave your lips like flower petals carried on an evening breeze. Trust that they journey through the night, gathering sweetness, multiplying in power, until they return to you in morning's light as unexpected joy, as sudden peace, as love made manifest in countless forms. Chapter 34. The Page of Starlight. The subtle glow of starlight traced Teresa Loria's fingers as she discovered an ancient tome in her dreams, its chapters shimmering with celestial light. Each word she wrote seemed to ripple across the cosmic fabric, as if the very act of recording her visions wove them into the tapestry of creation. The book responded to her touch, its chapters turning like silk floating on night air, showing her that imagination flows most purely when guided by divine light. Through the whispers of countless nights, the universal truth emerges. Your thoughts are not mere wishes cast into darkness, but living brush strokes painting upon the canvas of infinity. Each dream you hold becomes a star in the constellation of your becoming, each vision a thread in the cosmic weave of manifestation. Carl Mancini understood this secret language of creation. Night after night, he would sit quietly before sleep, allowing his mind to paint pictures of joy and fulfillment. He didn't force these visions or strain to hold them. Rather, he let them flow naturally like stardust settling on still water. As dawn approached, the world around him began shifting subtly, aligning with the patterns he had traced in his consciousness. Opportunities appeared that matched his visualizations. Relationships transformed to reflect his inner harmony, and circumstances rearranged themselves to mirror his peaceful expectations. The wisdom lies not in the intensity of your desire, but in the gentle persistence of your vision. Like stars that faithfully shine night after night, your consistent thoughts illuminate the path of manifestation. The universe responds not to desperate pleading, but to steady, loving attention. Each repeated visualization adding another point of light to your constellation of becoming. When you write your dreams in the book of consciousness, do so with the light touch of starlight rather than the heavy hand of demand. Let your visions flow like celestial ink across the chapters of possibility, knowing that what you inscribe with love becomes written in the language of reality. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, imagine yourself seated before an ancient book whose chapters shimmer with starlight. Feel the gentle weight of it in your hands, its cosmic chapters ready to receive your dreams. With each breath, see your deepest desires writing themselves in glowing script across its infinite chapters. Watch as each word sparkles with possibility, each sentence weaving itself into the fabric of tomorrow. Let yourself drift into sleep knowing that your story is already written in the stars, shimmering with the light of fulfillment that awaits your awakening. Chapter 35. The Horizon That Smiled Back. Angela Fiorillo dreamed. She stood at sunrise, smiling, only to see the horizon smile back. As the sun lifted its golden face above distant hills, she noticed how its arc perfectly matched her own expression of joy. In that moment of recognition, she understood that the universe was not merely responding to her. It was reflecting her own inner light. The simple truth reveals itself. Every outer circumstance bows to the shape of our inner world. Like a mirror that cannot help but show what stands before it, reality arranges itself to match our deepest held feelings. The law operates with mathematical precision, not through force or strain, but through the natural harmony between inner and outer states. This eternal principle found its expression through Frankie Romano's quiet practice. Each night, as he prepared for sleep, he maintained a gentle optimism regardless of the day's events. He understood that his nighttime attitude would paint the canvas of his tomorrow. Where others might have seen reasons for doubt, Frankie chose to nurture a warm expectation of good. As weeks passed, he noticed how life began returning his optimistic glance. Small kindnesses appeared unexpectedly, a stranger holding a door, a friend calling at just the right moment, opportunities arising as if by chance. Yet there was no chance involved, only the precise operation of universal law responding to his cultivated inner warmth. The meaning becomes clear. Joy is not merely a reaction to life's circumstances, but rather the lens through which we create them. When we polish this lens with consistent optimism, everything we view through it takes on a warmer hue. Our perception shapes the very substance of experience, molding events as surely as a sculptor shapes clay. The universe operates as a cosmic mirror reflecting back to us the exact frequency of our own consciousness. A smile carried in the heart must by law find its reflection in the circumstances we encounter. This is not wishful thinking, but rather the operation of precise spiritual mathematics. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, allow a soft smile to form upon your lips. Feel it not as a forced expression, but as a natural overflow of appreciation for life itself. Sense how this gentle curve of joy extends beyond your face, reaching out to touch the very horizon of your experience. As you drift into sleep, know that the universe is already curving that same smile back toward you, preparing to match your optimism with its infinite abundance. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. When you wake after listening, your life will not have changed. It will have remembered itself. The secret of this entire journey is that transformation happens not through strain but through softness. Sleep is sacred rehearsal for the awakening of your expanded self. Every night you have entered your own heart disguised as dream. Each act of gratitude, every image of light was language teaching yourselves to harmonize with possibility. You now stand between worlds, the seen and the unseen, aware they were never separate. The morning light that greets you carries the same essence as your nightly visualizations. The chair where you sit holds the same potential as your dreamed throne of manifestation. The walls that surround you vibrate with the same frequency as the celestial chambers you visited in sleep. To wake a different person means to notice the same life and find it shimmering with recognition. The coffee cup in your hand becomes a chalice of awareness. The morning breeze whispers secrets you've always known. Each footstep leaves prints of light, not because the world has transformed, but because your eyes remember how to see. You are the dreamer and the dreamed both, the artist and the dawn. Your breath paints reality with the colors of your midnight wisdom. The simple act of opening your eyes becomes a ceremony of remembrance. Each moment sparkles with the understanding that you were never separate from your desires. You were merely learning to recognize their presence. The universe delighted mirrors your rested smile. It has waited patiently for you to remember this truth. Awakening is not about becoming someone new, but about recognizing who you have always been. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.